Welcome back to the Lone Ranger Radio Show. My name is Bruce Woodburn, and yes, I am the Lone Ranger. Boy, I tell you what, I have so much fun doing this radio show, but I have more fun helping you when it comes to saving money on a refinance transaction or saving money when it comes to buying a home. You know, there's so many challenges out there for folks that want to buy a home right now, and I'm going to tell you something. I can show you the tricks of the trade to be able to help you position yourself so you can become the winning offer. Because here's the deal, guys. Here is the reality of it. If you go to buy a resale home right now, you are going to be up against several other offers of other folks that want to buy the same property. Why? Because there's not enough properties. That's why. And that's going to continue to drive the prices up. So how do you win in a competitive market like that? Do you just have to outbid everybody? Well, how are you going to do that? I mean, if you're going to take a property that's on the market for $350 and you end up paying $400 for it, are you going to be able to come up with the difference? Because you can't finance more than the value of the home. So if you bought a home for $350, let's just say you bought a home for $350,000 and you had enough money to put 10% down. That's 35 grand. But you ended up buying the home for 400 and it only appraised for 350. Well, then you've got to put down the at least the 5% of the 350, which it appraised for, plus the difference. So, or 10% of 350, but if you qualify for only 5%, you could do that. So that would be $85,000 down payment on a $400,000 house because it only appraised for 350. Do you have the money to do that? Is that really possible for you to do? For many of you, it is, because I'm seeing it every day. I'm seeing more and more of you say, I'm prepared to pay the difference. But here's how you do this. Let's just say you were capable of putting down 20% on the 350. So if you were putting down 20% on 350, then that's $70,000, right? We all on the same page on this. That's 70 grand. Well, if the house didn't appraise for, so 350, and then then you're willing to buy the home for 400. So the seller agreed to sell you the home for 400. But again, it only came in for what the original sales price was for 350. Okay. Now stay with me because this gets a little complicated, but I want you to hang in there. So you were going to put 20% down if the house was able to sell for 350, but you ended up buying it for 400. So now you had 70 grand to put down. Can you still buy the home? Well, here's how you do that. So now you go 350 times 5%. So you put 5% down. So now you're into it for 17.5. And then you got to pay the difference. So you paid $50,000 over. So there's your $65,000. You're into the deal for the same amount of money and you can still get the house that you want. Now, you weren't able to do that if you were squeezing together 5% to put down. You couldn't make up the difference. But that's how you put a deal together when you're paying over ask price or over appraised value for any particular property. You want help on structuring that transaction? You just pick up the phone and you call the Lone Ranger at 407-352, that's Cleve's number, 407-250-9144, 407-3, I keep giving out Cleve's number, 407-250-9144. But let's go ahead and give Cleve's number out while we're at it. 407-352-8118. I got a lot of numbers in my head. And you know what? That gets kind of crazy and complicated when we're trying to do those word problems over the radio. But here's what you have. You got the Lone Ranger right here, ready to work them out and explain them to you. Because I don't know about you, but I'm a very visual person, so I like to see things. So that might have been difficult to follow on the air, but think about this. Do you want somebody that understands that the way I do when it comes to helping you with your financing? If that's what you want and that's what you need and you want that advice, then you call the person that's best at it. And that would be the Lone Ranger. You call me at 407-250-9144, 250-9144, or visit my website at webringyouhome.com. Here's the beauty of working with me. You get 32 years experience. You get one of the top loan officers, not only locally, but nationally. You have somebody that actually returns phone calls. You have the best, amazing mortgage staff in the market, period, bar none. I don't know any other team that's got a better team. We're committed to returning phone calls. We're committed to giving you great service. You'll find that my team asks you after every phone call to evaluate the service level that we're giving. We want to know that, so we're always improving our game. Why do we know that that's important? Because that's what I would want if I was getting a mortgage today. Now, if I ask you right now, what's the most important thing you get in a mortgage company? You're going to tell me rate, rate, rate. That's what you're going to tell me. And all of you go for rate, rate, rate. Do you know that 65% of mortgages fail and the clients are dissatisfied with the mortgage company? 65%. That's horrendous. You know why? Because clients get lured into fancy commercials promising the world and not delivering. Here's the reality of mortgage rates, guys. I'm just going to tell you the secret. Here's the secret. We all have the same rates. You heard me. Oh, no. I called this company and they beat you in rate. Yeah, but you won't get it at the end of the day, or there'll be a surprise, or you're buying up the rate or buying down the rate with points. Well, anybody can do that. It's just like no closing cost refinances. How do they do that? Are they giving you money? Are they giving you $70 million that they've paid for closing costs? No, they're not. They're using your money to pay for it and calling it their money. That's not how it works, guys. When I increase your interest rate, I get a commission or a yield back, and I can use that to cover closing costs for you. Is that a good idea? Well, if you have no money or very little money, maybe it is the right thing to do. But if you have your own money, would you be better off to pay a higher rate and have me pay your closing costs, or pay a lower rate over the life of the loan and you pay your own closing costs? Well, not everybody fits into the same category. Everyone's different. What's your situation? What's most important to you? What are some of the questions might be asked to determine what you should do? Like, how long are you going to stay in the house? So I had a client the other day. He says, well, I want the rate to be a little lower, and he was getting a little bit lower rate, but it was costing almost a half a point to do it. And I asked him, I said, how long are you going to stay in this house? He goes, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years. I said, then don't do that. Don't pay the extra just because it makes you feel better that you got a little better rate. You're making an emotional decision rather than a logical decision. Do you have somebody that cares enough about you and is going to give you the trusted advice to guide you down that path in the right direction? Or do you have somebody that's a slick talking salesperson that just wants to make another commission? Well, if you want me, you're going to get a trusted advisor. That's my guarantee. That's my promise. That's the way I've trained my team. My team does not do anything to sell you a product that is not 100% in your best interest. Period. And that's why I convince a lot of you, or I suggest to many of you that call me for refinancing, not to refinance. 50% of you shouldn't refinance that I get calls for. But I got to convince you as to why. I mean, if it was up to me, I'd just refinance everybody that calls me. If it was just to gain for me. But it's not. It's for you. And you need the right advice, and you need somebody that you can count on, and you need somebody you can trust. You need somebody that's local. Quit dealing with these national companies that you're working at some guy that's on a Zoom call working out of his garage. Really? Don't you want somebody that you can have a relationship with that cares about you and your family and be there and guide you through the transaction? You call the loan arranger. You can meet with me in person. I'm in the same location for over 20 years. Right here on Fairbanks in Winter Park. You can set an appointment to meet with me. That's all you got to do. We get you on the phone. We pre-approve you. You want to bring in your documents? I mean, some of you folks are like, you know what? I just want to bring in the docs and meet the loan arranger, and I want to make sure that I've got somebody that's committed to making sure they take care of you. That's me. Come in and meet me. I'll do that. My team will cater to you. Come on in. We look forward to having you. Please don't just show up at my door, though. I mean, I get a lot of you guys just drop by and go, hey, I'm here to see the Lone Ranger. Hey, I appreciate it. I'm flattered by it. I want to meet with you, but I also do have a business to run here. So I have a pretty tight schedule, and my schedule is tight because I'm meeting with you guys on appointments. So call my office, set an appointment, 407-250-9144. 407-250-9144, or visit my website at webringyouhome.com. So here's a couple of really cool statistics. I just got these out hot off the press. So here, according to CoreLogic, they are a company that they do all kinds of things. They evaluate different trends in real estate. They also, we use them for services to identify property ownership. Like if you called me and said, yeah, I own my home. Do you own any other properties? And you said, no, I don't own any properties. I pull up CoreLogic and go, no, you own a property in Boston. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that one, Bruce. Yeah, well, that you can't trick the mortgage lender anymore. There's too many things that we not only do, but have to do to go through the system. There's like three I'll call them background checks for lack of a better word, but they're like background checks that we do for every closing. And lenders have to do it in order to comply. That's why mortgages cost more and have more paperwork today than they ever did before. It's a litigious society that we're in, and now we're required to do all these things just to have a saleable loan to Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, HUD, Ginnie Mae. You have to do it. So all these different systems. So you never, by the way, you never want to mislead a mortgage lender. Okay? Mortgages are federal instruments, and you don't want to do federal things to mislead a lender. And you know what the number one mortgage fraud is in the country? Occupancy. People saying that they're going to buy as a primary or a secondary residence, and it's really investment. Number one fraud. And it's one of the number one reasons. Matter of fact, it is the number one reason for foreclosures on performing loans. What does that mean? The client's making their payments on time, but they committed fraud when they applied for the loan, and the lender has to foreclose. It's not good. Don't ever do that. Just be honest. I'll figure out a way to make your loan happen. All right, let's talk about some cool stuff that are happening in the market. So reading this CoreLogic. CoreLogic reports that home prices nationwide, including distressed sales, rose 17.2% in June of 2021 compared with June of 2020. That's up month over month by 2.3% in June of 2021 compared with May of 2021. Now, let's just put that in perspective. They're saying that houses have risen just in a month, okay, by 2.3%. So 2.3 times 12 is 27.6%. Now, that's just a month, 2.3%. It's rose 17.2%. But if we stayed on this trend, we're at 26%. Now, you're asking me, should I wait to buy a home? What do you think? Sure, as long as you want to pay 17% more later on, then wait. So why would you wait? Houses are not going to get any cheaper. They're not going to go down in price. I don't care about foreclosures coming about. There's not enough properties to satisfy the market. The builders can't build fast enough. Buy now. Listen, today's price is the new norm. Yesterday's price is gone, man. It's in the rearview mirror. It's gone. It's the new norm. Just get used to it, because it's going to be a new norm next month and the month after that and next year after that. And that norm's going to be higher. It's your opportunity to get rich. That's why the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. They wait. They're polarized. They can't move. Buy now. You got great rates and houses are going up in price. That's what you want. I mean, basic economics. Buy low, sell high. You're going to buy low and sell high. Is it higher today than it was last year? Yeah, it's also higher than it was in 1952. But you missed that boat too. Let's buy now. 407-250-9144. That's the Loner Ranger at 407-250-9144 or WeBringYouHome.com. Be back in 5 minutes with more of reasons to jump into the market today, especially if you're a teacher, law enforcement, or first responder.